Wild Bill Hickok, a legendary figure in the annals of Wild West history, remains an iconic name that conjures up images of his remarkable sharpshooting skills and charismatic personality. Immortalized in numerous books, movies, and TV shows, Hickok's life is a captivating journey filled with adventure. James Butler Hickok, also known as Wild Bill, experienced a diverse and action-packed existence. He was born on May 27, 1837 in Troy Grove, Illinois, to William Alonzo Hickok and Polly Butler Hickok. Raised within a devout Baptist family, Hickok had 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and was expected to attend church every Sunday while diligently working on the family farm. In this video, we delve deep into the fascinating life of Wild Bill Hickok, exploring the series of events that ultimately led to the infamous incident known as the Hand of the Dead. Join us on this immersive journey as we uncover the compelling tale of one of the Wild West's most enduring legends. However, Hickok's life took an intriguing turn as he embarked on a diverse array of professions. He became a chariot driver, a soldier, a scout, a lawyer, a gunman, and even tried his luck as a gambler, among other endeavors. In his youth, Hickok resided in a station along the Underground Railroad, where his family actively participated in the smuggling of slaves out of the South. It was during this time that Hickok's first encounter with hostile gunfire occurred. He and his father found themselves pursued by law enforcement officers who suspected them of transporting more than hay in their wagons. This incident ignited Hickok's fascination with guns, prompting him to hone his marksmanship skills by targeting small wildlife around the farm. Despite the father's objections, the locals quickly recognized Hickok's innate talent with firearms, and he swiftly gained a reputation as an exceptional marksman. At the age of 14, tragedy struck when Hickok's father was killed due to his anti-slavery beliefs. 3 years later, at the age of 17, Hickok commenced his career as a tow truck driver on the Illinois and Michigan canals. However, within a year, he ventured to Kansas and secured a job as a coach driver on the Santa Fe and Oregon Trail, opening up a new chapter in his adventurous life. During his time in Kansas, Hickok had a significant encounter with a man named Bill Cody, who would later gain fame as Buffalo Bill in the renowned Buffalo Bill Wild West show. In 1855, while traveling along the trail, railroad cars faced frequent threats from bandits and Native Americans. It was during one such journey that Hickok honed his marksmanship skills. When the carriage broke down near Wetmore, Colorado, Hickok found himself sleeping under a nearby bush while the passengers waited in the vehicle for repairs. Suddenly, a disturbance awoke. Hickok and one of his passengers lit a kerosene lantern to investigate. To their surprise, they discovered Hickok being attacked by a cinnamon bear. Despite sustaining mortal wounds, Hickok managed to vanquish the bear with his trusty 6-inch knife. This tale of the bear attack exemplifies Hickok's bravery and formidable fighting skills, solidifying his reputation as a legendary figure of the Wild West. Having survived this near-fatal encounter, Hickok went on to serve as a peace officer in Monticello, Kansas in 1858. Later, he found employment at the Pony Express and Overland Express stations in Rock Creek, Nebraska, where he crossed paths with David McCandles, who playfully teased him about his more slender physique. In retaliation, Hickok began flirting with Sarah Shull, a woman who McCandles was interested in. An argument broke out on July 12, 1861, when McCandles and his friends arrived at the station, supposedly to collect a debt. The altercation escalated, resulting in a shooting that claimed the lives of McCandles and 2 of his friends. Hickok was ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing, as his actions were deemed acts of self-defense. As Hickok's fame grew, his exploits became embellished by writers. He joined the Confederate Army as a charioteer and scout, and on October 30, 1861, earning the nickname Wild Bill while serving in the Union Army. Legend has it that he acquired this moniker in Independence, Missouri, where he faced a mob intent on executing a bartender by firing shots in the air. Hickok dispersed the crowd, and a grateful woman shouted from the sidelines, "Good for you, Wild Bill." Although she may have mistaken him for someone else, the name stuck. Hickok's life was filled with scandalous adventures. In July 1865, he encountered a gambler named Dave Tutt, whom he had lost to at the gambling table. Unable to pay his debt, Hickok threatened to kill Tutt if he used the pocket watch he had taken as collateral. On July 21, 1865, the 2 men confronted each other in a public square, and Tutt proudly wore the watch. Hickok shot and killed Tutt, but was acquitted of all charges. During his time in the army, Hickok formed a friendship with General George Custer and gained notoriety. In 1867, reporter Henry M. Stanley interviewed Hickok, who claimed to have single-handedly killed over 100 people. Stanley reported this claim, further cementing Wild Bill's status as a national legend. Although Hickok ran for sheriff of Ellsworth County, Kansas, in November 1867, he lost the election. He later returned to the army but was stabbed in the leg during a skirmish skirmish with an Indian in eastern Colorado. Upon his return to Kansas, he served as the sheriff of Hays City in 1869. In August of the same year, he fatally shot a man named Bill Mullery, and a month later, he killed a troublemaker named Strahan in a local pub. In July 1870, Hickok was caught off guard at Drum Saloon in Abilene, Kansas, where members of the U.S. 7th Cavalry Force began assaulting him. Hickok shot and killed one of them, seriously injuring another. Following this incident, he resigned as sheriff and relocated to Abilene. In April 1871, Hickok was appointed city marshal in Abilene, earning a monthly salary of $150 along with a percentage of fines collected from those he arrested. However, his focus seemed to shift from his sheriff duties. During this time, he formed a friendship with notorious killer John Wesley Hardin, who admired being associated with a renowned gunman like Hickok. Despite their camaraderie, Hardin was cautious not to cross any lines that would further add to Hickok's notorious reputation. Hardin's violent tendencies eventually surface when he becomes enraged by snoring in the neighboring room at the American House Hotel. In his anger, Hardin fires shots through the wall, fully aware that Hickok would come after him. Hardin claims to have escaped through a window onto the roof in nothing but his underwear, hiding on a haystack until dawn when he steals a horse to flee. Hardin's account of his actions with Hickok was not corroborated by contemporary records and was heavily questioned. Meanwhile, Hickok's reputation for gambling and his indulgence in the company of women grew, taking precedence over his duties as city marshal. Local accounts describe Hickok's restless demeanor, constantly surveying his surroundings and sitting in corners to prevent enemies from approaching him while playing cards. According to newspaper, Abilene became a hub for gambling, fraud, prostitution, and pimps under Hickok's watch, and with the Bull's Head Saloon causing him considerable trouble. One specific issue arose when townspeople objected to the depiction of a Texas Longhorn sign at the tavern, finding it offensive. Hickok stood guard with a shotgun as the offensive marks were removed and alterations were made to the painting. Although the tavern's ownership changed hands, gambling continued. On October 5, 1871, tensions reached a peak when both Hickok and Co. began vying for the affections of the same woman. Rumors circulated that each of them was planning to kill the other. Trouble escalated when a group of rowdy cowboys arrived in town, engaging in drinking and fighting. Deputy Mike Williams was the only one who asked Hickok for help. Co. and his friends approached this Alamo saloon where a dog attempted to bite Co., leading him to shoot it. Hickok arrived shortly after, investigating the gunfire. The situation intensified and Co. opened fire on Hickok. In the ensuing exchange, Co. was shot twice in the stomach. Startled by approaching footsteps, Hickok fired again, accidentally killing Deputy Mike Williams. Co. died 3 days later. Following the incident, Hickok was dismissed as city marshal, and Abilene city fathers forbade Texas herds from passing through their town. In the early 1870s, tales of the Wild West captivated the East Coast through sensational novels and exaggerated newspapers. Hickok sought to capitalize on this trend by organizing a performance called the Bold Buffalo Hunt of the Plains. However, the show turned out to be a disaster, and Hickok had to sell the buffalo to cover expenses. Facing financial difficulties, Hickok was offered an opportunity by his friend Buffalo Bill Cody. In 1873, he participated in Cody's stage play called Scouts of the Prairies, which provided him with a decent income. Despite initial success, Hickok's heavy drinking began to affect his performances, leading him to part ways with Cody and return to the West. In Deadwood, South Dakota, Hickok's reputation as a gunman preceded him. While initially attempting to live a respectable life, his gambling and drinking habits led him back to the taverns. He met Calamity Jane in Laramie, Wyoming, and they fell in love, although Hickok seemed less committed to the relationship. His declining health and continued indulgence in gambling hindered his success. On August 1, 1876, while playing poker in a Deadwood tavern, Hickok was shot and killed by Jack McCall. McCall had lost heavily to Hickok the previous day and sought revenge. Hickok's fatal mistake was sitting with his back to the door and bar, leaving him vulnerable to the attack. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a good day.